Namaste. As always, the mother shows us the way, like mothers teach the children. Often we think when we go to a master, he will teach us sit like this, bolt straight, do this mantra, concentrating here. Well, life is life, there are plenty of things in life, and everything adds up to the great journey. It is meaningless to believe that just I'll do meditation for this much time and my life will change. Life follows its own. When we are meditating, then life says, okay, for a moment I have put the pause button. That too, it doesn't happen. It is going on and meditation is going on. And after whatever 10 minutes, half an hour, we'll say, I did my meditation. How was it? Very nice. If you have slept, it's very nice. If I've experienced some peace, I had an experience. Or seen some vision, I had something. But most of the time, it is unchanged. Why? Because it's good. These experiences prepare the consciousness, without a doubt. But experiences don't transform us. Transformation has to be done in life. That is the material given to us. The material may be crude. Good luck. Why? Because crude material means the divine thinks this fellow is capable of handling difficult material. Crude, I mean difficult to change. Or the material may be very nice, so divine doesn't, he thinks, okay, he's an innocent angel, give him some simple task. So what do we do when we face challenges of life? First tendency is to escape. Somewhere. The highest escape is nirvana. The lowest escape is go to some friend's place, have a drink party, blabber and come back. Two poles of escape. One is a dark escape. Because you will ultimately end up entering into such darkness that God will also get fed up. He will say, okay, take a go into the dark oblivion, inconscient, and be done with it. That's the path that the asura chooses. The other is a bright escape through the light, but still an escape. But when it comes to transformation, you have to face life. You can't run away because all the problems are within us. So wherever we may go, we may change places, we may change department, we may change people. But if we have not tackled the root, the problem will come one way or the other. So the prayer of April 7th, 1914 begins with this wonderful self-reflection that the Divine Mother does it for all of us. What kind of courage is mine that I always try to avoid the fight? She doesn't want. Because, she's all harmony, all sweetness. She doesn't want to fight. It's not the preferred way of the divine. Let's put it like that. At one place, Mother says, I am not fond of Kali's method. I seldom use it because it's so much destruction. Ultimately, something will happen, but it's so much distraction. She says, I prefer the way of Mahalakshmi. Harmony. And she says, all who have an awakened psychic, they prefer harmony rather than this kind of, But sometimes you have to face the battle. Even Sri Krishna tries to avoid till the last minute. Okay, Baba, give them 5 villages, that's all. So, what kind of courage is mine that I always try to avoid the fight? What kind of... Now, some people will start thinking, what is the fight? She's getting into, curious cat. That's not necessary. It's not inner fight and even like outer circumstances, but that's not important. Important thing is universally true. What kind of energy is mine that I am instinctively frightened of the new effort to be made and try, without being aware of it, to go to sleep passively, relying upon the results of previous efforts? One thing is for sure, there is no retirement benefit plan in God's work. Long back, somebody had told this to me. Its meaning I understood much later. He said, you know what Mother does? I had joined Air Force with this idea that I'll retire at some time, I'll get a pension. So nice, it will be good. I don't have to worry about. So, as if to put the record straight, he told me, with Mother's work, Because I said I want to, serve the mother. He said, you know what it means? It's like if you try high jump, first you are given 4 feet. You cross. You say, so nice. But by the time you have come back, you have not even rejoiced. It has become 5 feet. Okay, you take it in the spirit, you have crossed. No, what happens in high jump? You ever tried? It's very interesting. We used to do it. You jump, there is a bar, you have to cross it. So whoever jumps the maximum comes first. So here there is no first, you have to compete with yourself. So 4 feet, 5 feet. Then by the time you say, very good. Then comes 5 feet 6 inches. Oh, this is the record. 5 feet 4 inches is the record. Maybe if I jump, I'll be the best. So you put everything and you jump 5 feet 6 inches. Now I'm the best. 6 feet. Mother, where is it going to end? No, you jump, you trip because you're not ready. Mother, it's over. No, you jump. Mother, again I have tripped. No, you jump till one day she will make you jump. And then you feel you will relax. He says, now it is 7 feet. Now meaning thereby it's. So what do we do? Relying on previous efforts. I had this wonderful experience and So, no. One has to keep on moving. And after some time, you start enjoying the game. Because you realize that this game, you are not alone. If the divine is with you, what does it matter? 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, 10 feet, fall, break up, breaks, getting up again. So in the beginning, funda should be clear. That divine is with us, full faith, endurance, and then go ahead. So she says that I try to go to sleep relying upon the results of previous efforts. And we know when mother is speaking of previous efforts means he had in fact more experiences than Sri Aurobindo when she came in 1914. Straight road to supermind. That divine mother is. In order to act, I have to be compelled. And my mute contemplation is partly made of laziness. Leave it. You want to, tallow, you want to prolong, it's okay. You want to act because action would mean problems, issues, challenges, difficulties. All this is becoming more and more clearly apparent to me. All that I have done till now seems to me to be nothing. This is divine humility. What she had done, which she says nothing, April 7th, 1914, she had realized the presence of the immanent divine within. She had the full awakened Kundalini, not 7 chakras but 12 chakras. She had mastered occult to an extent where she died and she could revive herself. The cord had got joined. In a state of trance, she could continue all her activities and continue to remain in a state of trance. She had become a master of the Buddhist yoga, adept. No desire, no ego coming in. Mastered, adept of Buddhist yoga, as Sri Aurobindo says. She had realized the great truth of the Gita. And surely much more. This is on record. When she had read Patanjali, that Raj Yoga by Swami Vivekananda, some translation. Again, she realized it within a month. All this she has done, and then she says, what I have done is nothing. What a contrast with us human beings, who with little bit start feeling puffed up. Therefore, the state of being like a child is the best. Because child is always wanting to advance further. That's why children grow. So, grow fast. The poverty and limitations of the instrument I put at thy service. Is inwardly I have realized everything. My instruments are very mediocre. This is what she asked Sri Aurobindo. That inner realizations, everything is there. But look at my instrument. I am really not a master at anything. Look at her paintings and her music and you'll understand that it's not really true. She would write poetry, she has given talks, but she said, I'm not a master at anything. I'm a jack of all trades. And Sri Aurobindo says that is good. Because that means you have plasticity of nature. So she says, the party and limitations of the instrument I put at thy service, Lord, are evident to me. And I laugh a little sorrowfully at the idea that at times I could have a good opinion of my being, its efforts, and their results. So, this she would often say, once she says to Champaklal, Champaklal, don't boast. Now, Champaklal is far from that. And yet, even little, so she is teaching us divine humility. However much we may have, outwardly, it's nothing. This realization is the core of all further progress. The moment we believe that we have realized something, achieved something, that's the time the retirement plan begins. And you know what is retirement plan? Retirement plan means now I'm preparing myself for death. That's how it used to be in olden times. See, people who retired, retire ho gaye hain. Have you retired? Yes. Then next question is about children. So after 5 years, it's Mokshadham. Where are you going now? Because people start looking at it. Ab to hum retire. There's pessimistic attitude. Now we have retired, there is nothing to do. So people spend time sitting together, gossiping, reading newspaper. There is no retirement in God's creation. Outwardly work, yes, because the capacity, but inwardly it continues and there is no limit to it. The threshold of the true life that I always think I have reached is like a hope bestowed upon me, but never a tangible realization. You get something very wonderful and you feel your attention is drawn to something else which is not yet done. So it's like a hope, and then one has to enter the field of nature to prepare it. It's like you see God and you say, oh, wonderful, I have found Him. He says, no, 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 no. I've only promised you I'll come. When you will come, now you start preparing the nature for my coming. That's exactly what happens in this yoga. In the beginning, it's so beautiful. It's beautiful. It grows more and more beautiful and delightful, mind you. But some people who want to capture back only that first experience. So it is said of this place, and we experienced it when we came in the beginning. So you want to have cholas, and that day in dining room there is chola. What is chola? White chana. Okay, whatever it is. And is so happy. See, mother listens to everything. She grants even what you want to eat. So somebody had told us when we shared, okay, wait for some time. So then, see, oh, you are too attached to chola? You are going to dining room for this only? So that day you will have Karela. So this is how because you have to progress. You can't be always at that elementary stage. Child is asking, Mama, give me chocolate, and Mama is giving. When a child grows up, what does the Mama do? Too much of chocolate, takes it away. So she says that it's a hope. It is the toy promised to a child, the reward held out for a moment before the week. This is, mind you, though she is writing all this, she is identified with the earth consciousness. She is writing it for us. Earth consciousness, this is the state. It keeps seeing the sun, and then the sun vanishes. Again it aspires and returns. So, what we should do, when shall I become a truly strong being? Made entirely of courage, energy, valor, and calm perseverance. So, she says this tendency to look on the past, be lazy, be happy. Oh, I had wonderful experiences. I have read everything. Very good. Even if you have read everything, next step is let me understand everything. That will take a couple of lifetimes. Like Jugalda, he could quote from anywhere Sri Aurobindo's works. And when he said, now I don't no more want to be in knowledge, I am taking 2 years, I am giving to myself. So I asked him, Jugalda, what you will do 2 years? He said, I want to read Sri Aurobindo's works. I said, you have read everything and you remember everything. How many times have you read? He said, 22 times. He could remember cross references, life divine, yes, in this of yoga, there, let us all this, all in his head. So I said, you still want to read? He said, now for the joy of reading it. Exactly 2 years. While reading, he left his body. What is joy? We don't even read once, so it is very difficult. Avoid laziness. She's saying, what kind of courage is this? So when shall I become truly a strong being, made entirely of courage? We have to do it, let's do it. Doesn't matter. 1 lifetime, 2 lifetime, 10 lifetimes is irrelevant. Energy, valor, which fights, brooks no obstacles. Inner resistance, it doesn't say ever, what can I do? Ultimately, my nature has taken the better of me. No. Till the last moment to say, no, I will not succumb. Even when you are succumbing, still again, let's get up and fight again. He is the conqueror. Calm perseverance. When shall I have forgotten my own person completely enough to be nothing but an instrument molded solely by the forces it has to manifest? So that stage of yoga is when you ultimately say, Lord, you keep pinning me against the wall helplessly. All is thou, all is thou, all is thou. Do whatever you want to do with this instrument. Make it ready. Whatever pain, struggle, difficulty, challenges. And He knows how to do it. Only He knows. When will my consciousness of unity be no longer tinged with any inertia? When will my feeling of divine love be no longer mixed with any weakness? She wants to express divine love, divine unity. But what is unity mixed with inertia? All is same, all is one. It is a dynamic manifestation. So we have to understand what is the divine will, keeping this background of unity in multiplicity. What is the divine will there? And divine love, which is mixed with weakness. People who harbor too much love become too softy. Problem with being too softy is anybody can eat them. So this softy thing has to be in a nice little cone. So it cannot be eaten easily. So it is it happens because love makes you so soft. People who have too much of love become soft because of that. So she's saying this love, it tends to become weak at a point of time because it's so much abundance. So she says, without weakness. O Lord, all thought seems dead within me now that I have asked these questions. I search for my conscious mind and I do not find it. I search for my individuality and I cannot discover it anywhere. I search for my personal will and it is not there. I search for thee and thou art silent. Silence. Silence. She has entered that state. What is that state? Helplessness of a child. It doesn't know even what to ask. All that it can do is cry. It has to rely only on the mother to do whatever she wants. He doesn't know anything. She has reached that state of, it's the yoga of the earth, and in the yoga of the cells, he describes this state. She says that's when transformation begins. So your effort reaches the maximum point. And then it says, I take the difficulty, whatever it comes, but I want to go through it, but my efforts. He says, I have put these questions, and after that, I don't know what is the next thing to do. So that's the time, what she hears from the Lord. Now I seem to hear thy voice. What does the Lord answer? Never hast thou known how to die integrally. Always something in thee has wanted to know, to witness, to understand. Surrender completely. Look at the power of these words. Surrender completely. Learn how to disappear. No more of I, my, anything in any part of consciousness. All is a vast play of the Lord taking place within Himself. And all this she explains much later in the yoga of the cells. See, this is a state she has reached after all these efforts. It's like All is Lord, we cannot, say it prematurely. So this is a signal when she meets Sri Aurobindo. Break the last barrier that separates thee from me. Accomplish unreservedly thy act of surrender. He says, you force me, take me completely. Last act of surrender. This is very unique because Sri Aurobindo says, do not imagine that the surrender also will be done for you. When you read the mother's commentary, she says, well, what he means is this. There is a state when you have reached that point of utter helplessness. And you say, I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to surrender because there is nothing, no individuality left. What should I surrender? Whatever I called as myself is given. So it says, you accomplish even the act of surrender. Alas, O Lord, for a long time have I wanted it, but I could not. Now wilt thou give me the power to do so? O Lord, my sweet eternal Master, break this resistance which fills me with anguish. Deliver me from myself. See, all the time when we pray, me. And mother keeps correcting, ma. Again we say me. Again she says, stop saying this. The correct pronunciation is ma. I. In Marathi, I means mother. And she says, no, not I. You, thou. You know that story I have several times recounted, Guru Nanak's. Tera. So basically, all this to remind us that to think of oneself is misery. To think of the divine is supreme felicity. When we cannot, life seems all perplexed, confused, and mind goes into a lazy mode. I don't want to do anything. This challenge, that challenge, these issues. I don't want to take anything anymore. I cannot bear the burden. Oh, I have already had so much. It's enough. When you are making retirement plans like that, then what we should say, this is what we should say. Divine says, never has thou. Why are you deciding when you will retire? This is specific. That's why I said this is something to do with me. Why are you deciding when you will retire, whether you will retire or not retire? I had this bug of seclusion. I can share it. So I had decided when I am 50, I'll stop giving talks. Literally announced. Like a fool, so wonderful. Now, this talk was like, okay, last talk, 50 was on Savitri. I said, so nice, from today. Within a month. So then I said, okay, 50 probably is too early. 60. So Corona started. 60 crossed in Corona. The moment it was crossed, then I said, oh my God, now Sri Aurobindo's 150th year, Siddhi Divas, 100 years, Mother's birthday, 150th. How can it be like this? This all has to be done. So I put a target figure, 68. I want to go for seclusion, man. She keeps on saying, forget it. Why you? I want. I will do what I want with you. It's no more your business. You are my business. So this is how, with all of us, in different ways it expresses. I'm just sharing in one way. It will express itself in different ways. So the final act is to learn to die integrally, to disappear. And then what happens to us is the Lord's will. What He wants to do with us is not our problem, thankfully, but His problem. So, with this, I'll stop. Never hast thou known how to die integrally. Always something in thee has wanted to know, to witness, to understand. It's limiting the infinite. Surrender completely. Learn how to disappear. Break the last barrier that separates thee from me. Accomplish unreservedly thy act of surrender. Unreservedly, thy act of surrender. And at the end, she says, O Lord, my sweet eternal Master, break this resistance which fills me with anguish. Anguish is a sign of lack of trust, which comes from a resistance. Deliver me from myself.